Hmm. Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. So, in some ways, this scene kind of perplexes me, but in other ways, it makes sense. You have Carly that goes to Jason and tells him about Drew running for Congress and how it's going to cause scrutiny for Jason. And he's like, okay, fine, whatever, it is what it is. And she's like, that's it? That's all you really have to say? And I'm kind of just like, well, what do you want Jason to sit there and say? What do you want him to do? You want him to sit there and yell at Drew and tell him not to be a congressman because it's going to shine a light on me and my family and bring up horrible things? Like, what do you exactly want him to do? Like, she's getting all uproared about it, and she's all like, I'm going to sit there and protect you, and this, that, and the third, and blah, 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 blah. But I'm just like, part of me is sitting there thinking this scene wasn't really necessary because, yes, from Jason's point of view, and later he does sit there and tell Anna that Drew running for Congress is going to kind of screw him over in the sense that it's going to raise his profile and it's going to not be, he's not going to be useful to John, which means that he won't be able to sit there and take down Pikeman and prevent Carly from going to jail. So in reality, yes, he does need to sit there and know, and it is going to sit there and affect him. But from her point of view, it's like, okay, I mean, what you want him to get upset as much as upset as you? Like, what do you want him to exactly do? I don't really understand. Um, Now on the other side, Spinelli is able to sit there and access the information. He can't destroy it or corrupt it or anything like that, but you can sit there and listen. And Sam finds out why Jason was gone for those 2 years. Now, I've had my foot on Sam's neck because she's been acting like a Karen, and it has just been uber annoying. With that being said, this is a time where her anger is fully justified towards Jason in this whole situation because she's like, he chose to sit there and help out Carly as opposed to being with his kids. Okay? He chose to sit there and help Carly, a grown ass woman, that should be sitting there fighting her own battles instead of yet again having Jason get her out of the mess that she created, that she chose to sit there and be in. So I completely understand. Because even Spinelli's like, well, there's probably nuances, this or whatever. And I was like, no, just stop. I was like, I know he's your boy and everything like that, and that's like kind of a reflex for you. But even Sam was like, no, 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 no. Mm-mm. So she makes a copy, and eventually she tracks down Carly, and I'm pretty sure she's probably going to sit there and play the information. Now, Spinelli was like, hey, listen, just be very careful about what you do with this. Don't just start making rash, emotional decisions. But should be interesting tomorrow to sit there and see what happens. Now, Finn, gets ready for Violet to see Georgie and go to the pool and everything like that. And, he opens up the liquor cabinet after she's gone and he's like, I'm not going to do this. So he doesn't take a drink, right? He doesn't take a drink. And then he get ready to go back to work. He talks to Liz. He's like, hey, listen, things didn't work out, but, hope we can, kind of just keep that separate or whatever. They talk for a little bit, right? Now, Terry was up there talking to Liz and just catching up and finding what's going on with her and Finn and the boys and everything like that. And, eventually, like I said, Finn does get there. And I think it was Portia. It was either Portia or Terry that was like, all right, listen, we got to sit there and talk to you before, you start doing whatever it is you're going to do. And, they make it clear, like, no, this conversation is going to happen. So they bring him into the room. I think it was Terry. But they bring him into the room, and he pretty much just tells him, you know, we heard reports that you've been drinking, and you're gonna have to sit there and go to meetings and get regular blood tests and stuff like that, and be supervised to sit there and do your job. Ben doesn't like that. He gets pissed off. He's like, it was Liz, wasn't it? And of course, he tries to make it seem like, oh, well, I drank, you drank. He tries to downplay a lot of the stuff he does, talking about he's never been impaired and this, that, and the third. He's allowed to drink and you're allowed to drink. So what's the big deal? And he tries to make it seem like, yo, listen, I'll fight this. Now, one of them, I think it's either Terry, that makes it very clear. Listen, if we don't do this way, and you decide you want to fight this, then we have to make it official. Okay? Then that means that we got to sit there and get the board involved. And long story short, you can possibly lose your license. So we're trying to prevent it from getting to that point. We are genuinely looking out for you. But Finn gets super defensive. He throws it in her face that he's the one that saved the hospital, which he did, but still, that's not relevant if you're going to be treating patients. You may or may not be drunk, and they may or may not know. We got to sit there and send a patient to you. God knows how that's going to turn out. So, bottom line is, Finn gets upset and he quits. Then he goes to Liz and he gets off in her face. You told on me, this, that, and the third. You're taking away my life and stuff like that. And then he's like, you're not going to sit there and see Violet anymore. That's done. It's a wrap. He walks off. Liz gets upset. Liz did the right thing, right? Part of me is just like, why is she surprised about how he was going to react? Or maybe she kind of expected it, and it still just kind of hurt. I think Portia talked to her afterwards and was like, "Hey, listen, he did the right, you did the right thing." Doesn't feel like it because it, sucks right now, but did the right thing. And you know, seeing how he's turned, seeing how defensive he is, how angry he is, and everything like that. Yeah, she. I guess I can kind of backtrack some of the stuff I was there saying as far as her kicking Finn out and really giving up on him, and yeah, I can kind of take that back. I was definitely wrong about that. She made the right choice on all fronts. I'm not gonna ever justify her trying to stick up and keep a sociopath in her life like Franco with all the bodies that he had. But as far as rigging up with Finn, yeah, that's she did the right thing. Um, Nina, you know, it's really sad that you have Maxie sitting there trying to give Nina advice on how she could potentially screw up her relationship with Willow because she's manipulating her and she's using Drew to do it. And she's like, you need to sit there and tread lightly because if you mess this up, she won't just be upset with Drew, but she'll be upset with you too. And Nina's just like, oh, I got this. Don't worry about that. Everything's going to work out fine. My plan's going to work out fine. And I'm just like, you know, this should be the other way around. This should be Nina counseling Maxie on whatever screwed up thing that she's doing and how Nina needs to sit there and be the voice of reason and the guide to Maxie, not the other way around, right? Like, I always sit there and call Nina a dingbat and Ninaisms and pretty much any other name that's associated with dingbat, but it's like, how are you having this chick who is younger than you give you advice on you doing some half-assed baked plan where it should be the other way around? Like, this is the level of stupidity they did have written Nina in. Gio's in this scene, um, has reasons at this point. Listen, I'm pretty sure they're gonna probably find something for him to do. Hopefully, um, talks to Jocelyn for a little bit, talks to Trina for like 5 seconds. Jocelyn says something that's just was kind of weird, like, "What did you do to get in trouble with Trina?" I was like, what are you talking about? And then she's like, "Oh, well, right now, Trina's just dealing with a lot, and she's kind of fragile." Oh, wait, I used the wrong words. It's just like, was there any thought process when he decided to sit there and put this character on this show? Because between yesterday and today, it's just been like, what are we doing? And then there's this conversation with Dex asking Jocelyn for advice on how to play volleyball. And in exchange, he'll help them move, which they're going to do it anyway. And Trina's there telling um, Gio that, they're working it out. And, she kind of took Gio away this way they can sit there and talk and work it out. Like she had to sit there and run interference for some odd reason, which is not really her job. Um, her job should be something that they're trying to find a way to deal with the emotion and the sadness of losing Spencer, not playing interference and trying to play matchmaker with Jocelyn and Dex. I mean, I understand she's supposed to be a good friend, and that's what Gio, it's like compliments on her. But it's like, can she be more than just that? I don't think that's too much to ask for. Um, so Mac is back from yesterday, and he wants to get it on with Felicia. Like, there's not going to be children that's going to be running around at any point in time that could just get in the house. He's all like, "Oh, they're gone," and this, that, and the third. It's like, bro, just take your wife to the metro court. Like, what are we doing at this point, bro? Um, and then he talks about his vague trip and how Frisco thanked Mac for stepping up as far as raising his girls because you know he couldn't be bothered. And Felicia also thanks him for raising her girls because she couldn't be bothered because she was too busy being an absentee mom chasing Frisco around the world. So they both pretty much thank Mac for being a very amazing man and clearly a better human than both of those two put together. And then eventually, Anna and Robert came and they all hugged and they talked about John for a little bit. With Anna, Max went there saying, "Hey, listen, if he's giving you trouble, I'll talk to him. He was always a great kid growing up and yada yada yada." Now, they called him Jagger, but I'm like, come on, can we just stop calling him that? I mean, they didn't bother to sit there and even make the recast look remotely similar to the old school Jagger. They didn't even remotely bother to try. So it's like, why are we sitting there using Jagger? And they clearly didn't make him look like him. Just call him John at this point. He refers to himself as John now, so why are people sitting there calling him Jagger for? Hell, even in my chat sometimes, people sit there and call him Jagger, and I'm just like, yeah, John, right? Not to be a dick or try to correct him or anything like that, but it's just in my head, I know what Jagger looks like. I can't just sit there and look at this guy that looks nothing like that guy and start trying to use the same name. It's just not going to work. Um, at some point, Jason contacts Anna and tells him, "Hey, listen, my brother is running for congressman and is going to make my profile a lot higher. I need to sit there and do something. We got to move this timetable up. We got to move this timetable up because I'm going to be useless to the FBI. Carly's going to go to jail, and clearly I can't let that happen because at the end of the day, it's clearly all about Carly first. My family and everything else takes a back seat." And then it's like, "Listen, chill, I'm working on it." which I get from Anna's point of view. It's like you can't rush me. I'm trying to finesse the situation, and you keep sitting there talking about poor Carly this and poor Carly that. We going to do it. We just got to do it the right way, and I can't sit there and have you constantly sitting there poking me and asking me questions like, "Is this done yet? Is this done yet?" I'll just tell you, I'm surprised Anna didn't sit there and start yelling at Jason at this point. Like, if you don't calm your ass down. And at some point, everyone gets back, back to Max. I mean, get back to Maxie's place. Max and James and Georgie and everything like that. And James want Violet to sit there and stay. She has some good ideas for a tree house or whatever. So he wants her to stay. And Max is like, yeah, listen, I can't. Finn wants her back at 7, so I gotta make sure that she comes back at 7. But at that point, Finn is hitting the bottle pretty hard. He's having shots, 2 or 3 drinks or whatever. Looks like straight up vodka, which I'm just like, bro. Vodka straight without any chaser. That's a strong ass drink. Granted, every time he drinks one, it looks like he's like 3 seconds from like constantly vomiting. But I'm just like, God damn, there's no soda around. Like you can't just. Anyway, it's going to be a horrid scene when Maxie comes back and sees um Finn drunk as hell and trying to bring back that little girl into a place where she knows it ain't a good environment to be at. Finn is hitting rock bottom. He just quit his job. He lost his dad. He is drinking hard, and I can see the vision where there's people that's sympathizing for him. There's people that's like they're kind of upset with him because there's a little child that's involved, and it's one of those things where it's like, as a parent, you can't sit there and ignore your pain, but at the same time, it's not about you at that point. Your pain, your sympathy, kind of got to be pushed to the side for your child. So it's a complex situation. Anyway, I feel like that's about it. I can't think of anything else. So if I forget anything, come to the live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. I said that Robert was there, right? 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll sit there and talk about all the shows: General Hospital, Days of Our Lives, Bold and Beautiful, Young and the Restless. Because we're going to be talking about all of them. Also, if you're not a member, make sure you click the join button in the description box below. It gives you exclusive access to videos that I only put out for members. I'm going to actually have a video for members. I was going to try to put out yesterday, but a little bit too tipsy yesterday. But I'm going to try to put it out tonight for members only. Exclusive live streams and members monthly shout outs where every month I will shout your name out for just being a member and supporting the channel and supporting me. So you definitely don't want to miss out on those perks. And with that being said, I'm going to go. I'll see you in the next video.